Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to another rendition of the Directors Panel series. And this one is focusing on celebrating excellence in learning, engagement, and achievement. And so tonight we have brought the chair of the board, Amy Collard, some of our students, some of our staff, and we have our Human Rights and Equity Advisor, Pardeep Singh Nagra, here to help us moderate. And we're going to have a wonderful time talking about the excellence that exists in the Halton District School Board around this core mandate of learning, engagement, and achievement. But before we go any further, I'd like to take the opportunity to read our land acknowledgement before we get started. We begin by acknowledging the land and our responsibility to care for and respect all that provides us with life. This land upon which the HDSB is situated is on the ancestral, treaty, and title lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Mississauga Nation, now known as the Mississaugas of the Credit. Mississauga territory in the past and present continues to host both Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. The HDSB is committed to continuous knowledge building with respect to actions that address and resolve the ongoing impacts of colonialism. We do this by learning and understanding the true history, treaty obligations, duties and responsibility, and Indigenous rights while actively maintaining mutually beneficial relationships and collectively respecting and caring for the land. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening and for tuning in to what is going to be an inspiring evening of speaking about excellence in learning, engagement, and achievement. As a board, we have been extremely fortunate to have staff and students and parents, of course, who are engaged in this learning process to help us get to at the very top of achievement in the province. And so we want to continue that. We understand that this does not happen in a vacuum. It takes all of us working together collectively to do that. And as a board, we are committed to continuous improvement. That is something that we are all working towards, knowing that there's always room to improve. And so we're committed to that cause. And so this evening, we want to have that conversation just to pull back the curtains a little bit for you to see exactly what is happening in our board, all of the excellence that exists in various pockets. Time will not permit us to go, of course, into everything that we do and all the excellence that we have happening on a day-to-day basis in our board. But this will just give you a snapshot and a glimpse into the wonderful and marvelous things that are happening. And so at this time, I want to turn it over to the chair of our board, Amy Collard.
Thanks, Curtis. I'm very happy to be here with everyone this evening. It's always wonderful to have students on our panel who can speak to the lived on-the-ground experiences that they have in our classrooms and what it is like to be a student in the HDSB in the year 2025. When I look back on the Halton District School Board, I was actually a student here when I was in high school, and I got to tell you that the leaps and bounds that we have come in the last 25, 30 years is incredible. Students are getting to engage on a whole new level. And every year in this board, we present our students with new and challenging courses and ways of showing what they're learning that they never had when I was a student, that's for sure. And it shows in our annual tests that the kids take with the EQAO. Every year, our board is one of the best performing in the entire province. So it's really exciting to be a part of this panel, and I can't wait to hear from the students.
Great. Thank you very much, Chair Collard, and as well, Director Ennis. And first of all, I do have to start off by saying I love those J jerseys. I think, yep, there it is. Amy, I think you were sharing that you were there in 1993 for the last championship, and we hope to repeat this year as well. As mentioned, we have a number of other people joining us. My name is Pardeep Singh Nagra. I'm the Human Rights and Equity Advisor for the Halton District School Board. And in addition to myself, we have System Principal of Elementary School Programs, Shimona Roy. We also have Superintendent of Education with responsibility for secondary school programs, Dr. Tara Connor, and as well several HDSB secondary students, including Vera, Cal, and Hasni. And so I'm going to ask Cal to just welcome and say hi, and please share what school you're from.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pardeep. My name is Cal, and I'm a grade 12 student at M.M. Robinson High School, and I'm really happy to be here and share my experience.
Great. Hasni?
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. I'm Hasni. I'm in grade 11. I am from Georgetown District High School, and I'm also super excited to be talking about my experiences and giving a little perspective into the student life at Halton District School Board.
Great. And Vera?
Hi, everyone. My name is Vera. I'm currently a grade 12 student at Oakville Trafalgar High School, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you all on this panel tonight.
Great. And so I would probably want to start tonight with somebody who has a very unique position at our board, the Assistant Principal of Elementary School Programs. Because, you know, when we are looking at student engagement, student achievement, student excellence, it starts right from the younger years. And we continue to build up as we move into the secondary panel. And so our principal, assistant principal, Shimona Roy, if you want to kind of share how you, right from the get-go, the first contact that young kids from JK onwards have with us, and how we are trying to create student engagement, learning, excellence, and achievement.
Thank you, Pardeep. I'm excited to be here to speak to all of you. There's a few highlights that I wanted to make tonight. There's so much that we do at the Halton District School Board, especially at the elementary level. And it's so difficult to summarize things in a few minutes. But I just wanted to highlight a few programs and just talk about our stance on different learning methods and our ideas through literacy, numeracy, and student engagement. So I just wanted to begin with a specialized program that we offer in the elementary schools, which is the outdoor experiential education learning. So we really, truly believe in learning outdoors, help students explore, discover, and make meaningful connections for the curriculum. And this starts right from kindergarten all the way up to high school. But the K-8 area, we're really working hard to promote this outdoor education. We are in a program in the third year, and we are doing in-school collaboration projects that include 75 elementary schools working to build out educator confidence and capacity to plan purposeful, hands-on, experiential learning outdoors. And each of these schools have a leadership team that are made up with so many different educators, whether it be an educational assistant, educators in the classroom, support staff, secretaries, principals, VPs, we're all involved. And it's great to see the involvement from kindergarten to grade 8 working together. We have outdoor education facilitators at the board level to help identify these schools, to help them identify their goals within the school, develop long-range plans, and provide professional learning to best use the outdoor space within their school environments. This work helps ensure that the outdoor learning is not just a one-time event, but it is a regular and meaningful part of teaching and learning. So we're very excited about that program. It is growing, it's getting stronger, and there's so much engagement from students, and they love the program. The other part is the elementary involvement with the Halton Skills Competition. So last year we had 1,130 grade 4 to 8 students from 55 elementary schools participate. There were 14 events celebrating trades and technologies. So 22 of these teams advanced to the provincial competition in May, where Halton students received outstanding results. So we actually had people earn gold in the junior Lego mechanical engineering. So congratulations to Maplehurst Public School. We had the intermediate technology from Post Corners Public School. We had the junior character animation, Stewarttown Middle School up in Georgetown. And then we had bronze in the intermediate VEX IQ robotics at Sam Sherritt Public Schools up in the north too. So this program is open to all elementary schools, and it consists of school-selected teams of 2 to 4 students, with educators investing a considerable amount of time to work with these students outside of the classroom to prepare and support them for these challenges. And again, a great student engagement piece. And the competition ranges from like hand tools, solving real world scenarios, construction of model homes and green technologies, building and coding using Lego and Vex. They do animation, video productions, and everything's connected to the Ontario curriculum with a focus on science and tech, as well as pathways into skilled trades. So again, in 2026, we'll have this competition. It is over 2 days this year, and it includes exciting additional of an intermediate landscape and agriculture competition. So this is a great program that we are offering in the Halton District School Board. And I think I just want to end with just talking about how teachers, educators, everyone within the school community, how they plan and program for every student. Because we use the whole child approach. And this focuses on the interconnectedness of students' cognitive, emotional, social, and physical well-being. And this starts right from kindergarten. Teachers are using relevant, meaningful resources, and they're really centered on students' identities, intersectional identities, to support multiple areas of development. And we're really prioritizing safety, engagement, and support for each child's unique needs. And we want to make sure that we're fostering success in their school and their life. So I just want to leave it there.
Great, thank you very much. And I'm going to ask each of our student reps. I know you all mentioned you're in high school, but I'm sure you passed elementary along the way. And hearing all the great, exciting student engagement type of learning that Shimona was just sharing with us, do any one of you want to share an elementary moment with us that you can recall that was just either exciting or something that you have fond memories of as part of your elementary? And I see Cal, you can start.
Absolutely, I would love to share. So I went to elementary school at Rolling Meadows Public School. I've been in this board ever since kindergarten, and I've had an absolutely amazing experience there. I find that the teachers are really working to, it's not just a job to them, they're really focusing on empowering students and ensuring that we can be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And a great example of that was in the 8th grade. Me and my friends got really obsessed with chess. All right. We would play chess before school, at lunch, whenever we could, really. And with that, my 8th grade teacher he took that interest and he thought, well, what if we expand this to the rest of the school, not just our class, but to everybody? So that's when myself and he co-founded our school's chess club. So we got, I think, a dozen or so chessboards from the dollar store, and I started helping him organize these competitions. We would stay in at break sometimes and really just appreciate our love of chess, whether that's with students or with staff. My 7th grade teacher was also really into chess, so I would play against him sometimes. And really just taking this interest that we had and building upon it so that we can all feel connected and seen with what we really want to learn about, I found was really special.
Great, and I can call that in my young days too, enjoying chess. And I see Director Ennis has a few comments here, so go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to jump in on what Cal just mentioned, because I've had the opportunity to visit every single school in our board. And what Cal is talking about is something that I've seen everywhere that I go. In fact, there are many schools in our board where if a student has an idea, they can bring it to administration and they'll get a teacher sponsor, and they have a new club, they have a new point of interest, they have something that they can engage in, a new activity. And so I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our staff who support our students and the great ideas and interests that they have, because I've seen it literally everywhere.
For sure. Vera or Hasni, any reflections from your elementary years?
Yeah, I can actually go next. So I was just thinking about this, and in grade 8, our teacher, I don't know if she had the intention of helping us bridge the gap to high school, but in grade 8, we actually had student jobs. Each person in my class actually had a job. So I think through that, we learned how to govern ourselves. We were also really learned how to be independent. For example, someone's responsibility was to take care of all the plants inside our classroom. I think my role was like the French police since I was in French immersion. I would I would get to tell someone to speak in French when they were speaking in English. So just not only were the teachers really supportive with our learning, I also feel that they also helped us grow a lot of soft skills that are transferable to not only high school and our future. So just thinking about that now, I thought it was kind of fun back then, but now I see like what she was kind of doing it with it. Yeah.
For sure. And you're mentioning my son was in the Halton board in French immersion, and how many times he told me that, yes, you're supposed to be speaking French all the time. And so your role, that job was very important. And you might have a career in policing one day. Who knows? Hasni?
Yeah, no, for sure. For clubs have been a very, very big factor of my experience in both elementary and high school. What I did want to mention is that although the teachers definitely did support a lot of our interests, I also had the chance to help out in lowering our grade 8 graduation trip costs, because I found out that, you know, for some students, the cost itself to go on our grad trip was quite expensive. So what I did was I talked to some of my teachers about, you know, some ideas on how we can lower the cost, and we began to work on a plan to lower the cost by starting things like fundraisers and bake sales and just some exciting ideas like throughout the year. And by the end, we were able to lower the cost by, I think, almost like $30 for each student. And we had a pretty big grade 8 cohort. So it definitely did have a big impact, I think, on a lot of students. And I was definitely able to do this with the support of not only my peers, but also the excellent grade 8 teachers that I had. I am from Silver Creek, so shout out to Ms. Rivera and Ms. McDonald.
Great. And Hasni, thanks for sharing that reflection, because, you know, as a school board, it's important for us to have opportunity for all that want to participate, and any which way that we can do different activities to help fundraise to reduce the cost for parents, families, and students makes it more accessible in terms of for people to be able to engage and participate. And so those are some great skills that all of you have shared, and I'm sure those moments during elementary have really set the stage for secondary. And I think that's a good segue for us and for me to once again introduce Dr. Tara Connor, who's a superintendent of education and also has the unique portfolio of secondary school programs as well, to share some thoughts about what that looks like with respect to student excellence, student engagement, student experience, and student excellence.
Yeah,
Dr. Connor?
Yes, thank you so much, Pradeep. I was just reflecting on the stories that were shared and really appreciated students talking about being, Cal, I love when you use the word being seen, and that notion of leadership, initiative, and student voice, and really community really resonated, I think, across each of those stories. So I'm looking forward to your continued sharing and highlighting around not only your elementary, but also your secondary experiences as we move forward. I'm really delighted this evening to be able to speak a little bit about secondary school programs. I will tell you that I have just unbelievable pride and excitement in sharing the tremendous excellence and achievements of our secondary school students, our staff, and our schools. Just so proud. And I know that you have some wonderful students with us today. We have so many wonderful students and staff across the system that we really are so joyous and proud of each and every day. First of all, I'd just like to share that when we consider excellence in learning, engagement, and achievement, I would extend this notion of excellence to beyond academic excellence, and really, in my mind, to include all aspects of student learning and school life.
HDSB elementary and secondary schools, I know, demonstrate excellence because they support the needs of all learners. They ensure each and every students are provided the support and the resources and the experiences that they need to allow them to achieve and to succeed. Each of our students, particularly at the secondary school level, is in their own unique journey in determining their own passions, their interests, their gifts, and developing their individual pathway plans as they prepare for their own future. It's very much our responsibility to support students in this journey, to challenge them, to encourage them, to inspire them, to help them reach their fullest possible potential. I will share at the secondary level, there's an incredible range of exceptional curricular and co-curricular activities and programs designed to provide every student with a broad range of experiences and opportunities that they can consider, again, as they work through their unique interests and aspirations and post-secondary pathway plans. So I'm sure Shimon and I both felt like we could talk for hours tonight, and I know we don't have hours, but I'll share and highlight some of the things that hopefully would be of interest to you this evening. We're, of course, incredibly proud of our outstanding community pathways programs, in which students with special education needs are met with high expectations and individualized programs that support unique opportunities for a variety of pathways, both within their high school and beyond. These students are supported to meet their greatest potential as we work with caregivers and our community through student-specific transition plans for outcomes that they may include things like volunteering in the local community, gainful employment, and school-to-work transition programs like Project Search, as well as post-secondary opportunities at colleges and the community integration through co-op experiences program. Our Specialist High Skills Majors program that we offer across the region, or SHSMs, as many of you may know, offers students the rich opportunity to develop specialized knowledge and skills specific to a career-focused pathway, gaining sector-recognized certification and career-relevant training as an integral part of their high school program. And other programs like the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, or OYAP, provide students the tremendous opportunity to start training for a skilled trade while also completing the requirements of the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. Unique programs like our dual credit program and advanced placement program allow secondary students to complete college and university credits while also completing high school. French immersion, robotics, cooperative education, e-learning are some of the many diverse and exceptional opportunities available to secondary students within our board. The HDSB Advanced Placement Program, which has been offered to secondary students across our region within our Halton schools for over a decade, have prepared thousands of students for AP exams through both self-study and senior AP courses, with our students, HDSB students, earning the highest level of standing in these examinations. The HDSB iSTEM program is a unique, innovative regional program for secondary students, grades 9 to 12, in which students have the opportunity to develop innovative skills related to engineering design and design thinking, entrepreneurial thinking skills, and global competencies. And for almost 20 years, the HDSB has offered the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program to students across the region, with HDSB students achieving the extraordinary accomplishment of earning perfect scores in all 6 subject areas, as well as an A in both the Theory of Knowledge course and extended essay, which is an achievement attained by only 1 to 2% of all IB diploma recipients globally. Although elective course offerings and co-curricular activities may differ among secondary schools, and they do, it really very much depends on local student interests, all HDSB secondary schools provide outstanding learning opportunities for students, ensuring our students have the requisite skills, knowledge, and experiences needed to successfully transition to post-secondary pathways of their choice. Of course, that could be the workplace, apprenticeship, colleges, or university. Each of our secondary schools provide exceptional learning experience across all pathways and subject areas, with a deep focus on future-ready skills like critical thinking, problem-solving, empathy, adaptability, and environmental stewardship. HDSB students are award-winning and world-class athletes, artists and leaders, and are top-achieving students in local, national, and international competitions. And for students pursuing a college or university pathway, we know our students receive substantive scholarships and awards to colleges and universities, as well as acceptances to top post-secondary educational institutions from around the world. We're also very, very proud of our wonderful co-curricular opportunities. I know our students are going to talk to both programs and the wonderful things that happen in schools. And we provide fulsome and rich opportunities to allow students to be involved in great co-curricular programming that builds leadership, connection, and engagement. World-renowned programs like DECA, HOSA, Model UN, and FIRST Robotics are available in Halton secondary schools, with students again achieving exceptional results in national and international competitions. We have art shows, musicals, drama productions, musical events, all interwoven in the rich fabric of our school communities. And HDSB secondary school athletic programs are incredibly impressive and expansive. HDSB secondary student athletes take part in numerous sports tournaments, events, and competitions throughout the school year, with many of these teams earning impressive recognition through regional titles and provincial championships. I also want to share that excellence in student learning and achievement and engagement can only take place in schools that we know are welcoming, safe, engaging, and supporting, and in classrooms in which students are seen, heard, encouraged, and cared for. We truly have amazing schools in all aspects of excellence. And although I know I could speak at much length about our exceptional students, staff, and schools, I'm incredibly excited that we have 3 tremendous students representing several of our secondary schools this evening, joining us to be able to share their wonderful experiences and their unique stories as they have continued through their secondary school program within our school board.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Connor, to share, and that's just a snippet in terms of all that you talked about, from plays going on to athletic excellence, to co-curricular, to curricular, to engagement, welcoming schools. There's so much that can be happening on any given day in any one of our schools, from elementary to secondary. And, and through that, I want to ask Chair Collard, one of the most important things that that trustees, one of the role of a trustee and the whole trustee, all of our trustees, is to engage in the multi-year strategic plan. And for the Halton District School Board, while we are speaking about student achievement, I think every single other pillar is interconnected, because when we look at a multi-year strategic plan, we know it's centered right in the middle with students and staff and family and parents and guardian, and all of those areas of foci as part of our multi-year strategic plan work specifically towards student achievement and excellence. And so, Chair Collard, if you just want to kind of share, the framework of our multi-year strategic plan and how all those different dimensions, from environmental leadership and mental health well-being, all support student achievement, and even just the role of trustees and a multi-year strategic plan.
Thanks so much, Pradeep. Every 4 years, the board creates a new multi-year strategic plan. And we start by looking at what is in our current plan. We go out to our communities and say, what do you like about what's in the current plan? What's missing from the current plan? And what do you think we've done enough of and don't need to see in the next multi-year strategic plan? And the community is very vocal, very supportive of putting together a great multi-year strategic plan, because they know that it's all about the students. They know the students are at the center of the plan, and that everything in that plan has to benefit students. So this year, we carried forward with 5 of the commitments from our last plan, and we added one. And the one that we added was kindness, connection, and community. And this was a brand new commitment, never before been on one of our multi-year strategic plans. And I have to say that new commitment has received applause from parents, community members, staff members, students, people that aren't in our board say, hey, why can't we have that in our board? It's really something that it has a ripple effect. People out there really like that one, because without kindness, connection, and community, then it doesn't matter how hard we work in school, we're not going to engage. We have to be able to engage students, parents, families, staff, community in the education of our students. And the only way to do that is by making them want to be there. making them feel good about being in their learning environment, welcoming them in the door. So I'm very, very pleased with the work that we've done on creating this new multi-year strategic plan, and for all of the hard work of trustees and the senior admin team in creating this plan. And we've been in this plan for a year now, and I'm seeing it pay massive dividends. We just look at these 3 students who are on our panel this evening. They've given us just one example, each of them, from their elementary school years. I can't wait to hear what's happening now that they're in high school.
For sure. Thank you very much, Chair Collard. And, as we mentioned, the multi-year strategic plan has many other dimensions, all supporting student success, student excellence, student achievement, student engagement. Shimona, you had talked about identity, right? And when we look at Indigenous knowledge, Indigenous learning, Indigenous rights, we look at well-being, mental health well-being, emotional well-being, psychological well-being, physical well-being. All those aspects are all geared towards the same goal of making sure that we can support our students in so many different ways. And so, Cal, Hasni, and Vera, each one of you are secondary students right now, and I'd love to hear what some of the curricular and co-curricular opportunities you've had with the Halton School Board and how these experiences are preparing you for the future, because that's the goal at the end of the day, right? As much as we want student success, student achievement, student excellence, it's also about preparing for the future. So, Hasni, do you want to kind of start us off with telling us about your experiences in secondary school?
Yeah, for sure. So once again, I do go to Georgetown District High School. When I first started off in grade 9, I joined literally every club that I could think of that even slightly interested me, because I really wanted to see everything that I could do. And high school for me was such a different experience just because we had so many more clubs. And literally at our school, name a sport team, we have it. Name a club, we have it. And I think that's a big reason why I chose GDHS. It's because we have quite literally almost any club or team that you can think of. And so again, as I was saying, grade 9, I started off by joining a bunch of different clubs. And then in grade 10, I started really looking at what I'm interested in, what I'm truly passionate about, and started centering some of the clubs. And then grade 11, I took more leadership levels, and yeah, here I am. And so some of the clubs that I'm involved in my year today is debate. So I did found and I do lead our debate team at our school. I've also been a part of student council for a really, really long time. So I am currently the co-deputy prime minister at student council. I'm president of our equity team. I've helped organize a lot of events that celebrate culture, inclusion, and community at our school, from things like Eid fundraisers to Indigenous Veterans Day celebrations and awareness as well. I also captain our dance club at our school and currently serve as an executive in DECA, which I know we mentioned. We do have DECA at our school as well. Like I said, any club you can think of, we have. And I also represent the school in a more regional level with the HDSB Student Senate. So a lot of clubs, a lot of teams that I'm a part of, and I'm so grateful that my school has, we see everyone and we have something for everyone, which I think at the end of the day is the goal.
Great, Hasni, and thank you very much. And again, I'll mention my son. Yeah, Shimona, really, all the pieces that you mentioned. If I was a parent, I'd say, and so when are you focusing on academics there? But I'm sure you're managing all those together. But preparing for the future, what you're mentioning for clubs, my son just graduated this past year from the school board. And one of the things he's doing at university is joining some clubs as well. It helps as part of his orientation. It helps for him to just expand and engage with other students outside of his program as well. And so those are important pieces. You mentioned Indigenous Veterans Day, right? So that's something important. It's distinct from Remembrance Day itself, and that's coming up. And I'm happy that you're involved with recognizing and honoring the Indigenous veterans for who have served and continue to serve for Canada. So thank you very much for sharing those aspects. We'll go to you next, Vera, if you want to share some aspects as well.
Yeah, so currently I go to Oakville Trafalgar High School, and I remember in grade 9, I think I was definitely very nervous coming into high school, especially since a new environment. There's way more people compared to my little small grade 8 class, but I found that throughout the leadership that was already present at my school, such as the link leaders and all the other seniors that helped bring in my grade 8 class, I always felt really supported. I also know that I felt like I had more freedom. For example, now that we were in high school, during breaks, we didn't have a teacher watching over us the whole time. We could engage in clubs, go to the library, study, and I just had a lot more freedom, and I thought that was really nice to have because I could decide what I wanted to do with my time. And like Hasni said, at my school, there's a bunch of different clubs, and I also suggest to any incoming grade 9s to join as many clubs as you can, because through joining these clubs, not only do you get to learn a bit more about a lot of different activities and fields and subjects, throughout these experiences, you can also learn what you don't necessarily like and what you do like, which I think helps you decide what you want to study in university. And in the classroom, I'm in the French immersion program at my school as well. I'm also involved in some AP courses as well. And I feel like the breadth and the depth of different courses and different challenging courses at my school really help prepare me for university as well. So it definitely helps me feel less anxious about, oh, I'm so scared for university and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Great. And so I'm going to give a shout out for one of the things that you mentioned around student engagement. And in fact, I'm going to encourage every student to join the LINK program. Again, I know my son was involved, and that was a wonderful program. And I think it has so much potential because to link back not only within the school, but as you mentioned, welcoming the students in and going back into our feeder schools and really engaging them, and just other opportunities that the LINK program provides within the school experience around extracurricular activities. And that's something my son enjoyed extensively. And so that's something that I'll highly recommend that you had shared. So thank you. And so Cal, we want to hear from you now.
Oh goodness, I have a lot of connections I can make now. The first one I want to talk about is definitely LINK, and extending upon that, how right now we've been talking about the elementary side of what we've been doing and also the secondary side, but there's a lot more connection with that we may not have addressed yet. I know that my eco team that I lead at my high school, co-lead, we like to partner with some of the elementary schools that are around. So there's Alexander's Public School, for example. We have helped their eco team start to thrive, and that also connects to what Shimona mentioned earlier with the outdoor experiential I forget the acronym, but and you know, I also get to come back to my old elementary school myself and talk about my experience and give them the student perspective of how they should be planning to move forward going to secondary school and what challenges they may face that they may not be expecting. And with that, if there's any elementary school students feeling worried about going to high school, everybody is. That's expected. I myself was. But for me, that lasted about 5 minutes until I entered my English class and my teacher threatened to defenestrate someone, throw somebody out of a window. It's one of my favorite terms that we have in English that not in many other languages. And I knew that this is exactly the kind of experience that I want to be a part of. From there, we need to start thinking about, like, as soon as possible, what do I want to do once I'm done high school? Now, at this point, I was fully set on aerospace engineering. This was like, I love math. I'm really good at math. And hey, building spaceships. That's pretty damn cool, right? So from there, Dr. Connor mentioned a lot of programs that we have offered, and they may just seem like buzzwords now, but to me, these are genuine things that I've been a part of and that I've appreciated. The first one to find out if this aerospace engineering is really for me was FIRST Robotics. So at the time, I was part of Rambotics Team 2200, which is now a Burlington community team. I'm actually wearing their shirt, BCR Blackout. And so here I got sort of my first introduction into engineering and engineering design more specifically. And I found it was an absolutely incredible experience, but I also found that this probably isn't what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. There was something that just wasn't quite working for me. And so I joined just about every other club you can think of, every other program as well. So I'm in the specialist high schools major for manufacturing, engineering, and robotics, that's SHISM. And there I've been able to take a co-op at the Vineland Research and Innovation Center in Niagara, well, not quite Niagara, Lincoln, Ontario. And there I've got some extra on-the-job training, on-the-job experience with biological processes, biocontrol, which is using sustainable solutions as opposed to pesticides to make sure that the food that we eat isn't eaten by other things. And I even was able to do some engineering there, and I designed this autonomous bug counting machine, I like to call it. So it takes a petri dish and it moves it around and takes pictures and stitches them together so that the researchers don't have to look in their microscopes 500 hours a year. That's $50,000 in billing hours. And I'm helping to automate that process. But again, thinking about that, it was, again, an amazing experience, but something wasn't quite fitting. And what I found, what that issue was, I found with the Best Buddies program or club, which I'm also leading now, which is where mainstream students and the community pathways program that's at my school gets to come together and make friendships and learn communication skills, which has been great for me as well as for the community pathways students, and overall just have a good time. And making friends with these students and learning about their perspectives as well as the challenges that they face, what I've realized that I'm really looking for moving forward in my career is this human connection where I can make something knowing that I'm directly impacting somebody's life and changing their life for the better. And this is sort of the experience that I want to have in post-secondary and beyond. And this is now the direction that I'm moving myself towards taking. Another few just miscellaneous topics we could talk about. I don't know if you mentioned this, but there's the gifted program that I'm a part of at my school, which the two biggest parts of that I would say is extension opportunities, where it's a little bit more loose as to what our class structure will look like. For example, in my grade 10 gifted science class, we had the opportunity to do a genius hour where we research any science topic that we find interesting and build upon it and create something interesting out of it. And there was the kickstart of a science fair project I did with the Bay Area Science and Engineering Fair, where I designed a competition-based and AI-enhanced fitness tracker where I got some community members and family members to run with this and find the effects of competition and of goal setting and things like that on exercise motivation. This was also a great opportunity for my dad to kickstart his fitness journey, and he's recently completed his first marathon and it's been as healthy as ever, which I find to be really, I'm really thankful for. And you also mentioned there's athletes of all different skill levels and abilities throughout our schools. I have a bit of a unique perspective on that. The most interesting one for me, if any of you know about American Ninja Warrior, I am globally competitive in that field. And so as a part of that, sometimes I'm not able to stay in school, especially on some important times. But as usual, the staff have been incredibly supportive of this journey, giving me work ahead of time if I need to, so that I can go to these competitions. And also for World Finals, which of course every year happens during exams, which is really frustrating, but I was able to do my exams early during that time so that I'd also have the opportunity to go to World Finals, end up winning second place. And it was the most incredible experience of my life, I believe. So thank you all for listening to me go on and on. That was really...
and I'll make the clap sound right there, so it's original there. And so Cal, thanks for sharing everything that you're sharing, and as well Hasni and Vera, because really, you know, I think it shows the breadth and depth of all the different ways that students can engage, and how, you know, Cal, you were just mentioning right now, the uniqueness in some of the levels that you're competing in or engaging in, and then the flexibility of the school to be able to help and support you as well. You know, I'm just going to put out the word Nobel Peace Prize somewhere, Cal, and hopefully you can just take that for what it is in your future somewhere. But more importantly, you talked about marathons. That's something I've done. I've done over 15 half and full marathons. I enjoy marathon running itself too. You talked about that tracker. I might, at our next senior team meeting, bring that up and challenge the whole senior team for something. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what that fitness challenge might look like. But more importantly, you know, each of you mentioned very specifically some of the programs. And you know, Vera, if I can begin with you, you know, you're enrolled in French immersion, as you mentioned, and also advanced placement courses, while being active, as you mentioned, in a number of different clubs. Can you tell us a bit about what drew you to these opportunities, and how participating in programs like French immersion and AP has shaped, challenged, and supported your learning experience?
Yeah, definitely. So for French immersion, I was enrolled in it ever since grade 1. And since grade 1, I've just always loved learning a new language. I think it's very interesting to learn a whole new language, to communicate with a whole bunch of new people, and also learn more about different cultures around the world. So French has always been a favorite subject of mine, especially living in a bilingual country. It can come in really handy in the future, whether it be job opportunities. And currently I'm applying to different universities. So I'm looking into med schools because I think medicine is something I'd like to pursue in the future. And I've realized that knowing French is actually a really big advantage, because some med schools are only available for those who can also speak French on top of English. As for AP, in grade 10, I wanted to learn more about a specific subject that we just didn't have in the school, and that was psychology. And I realized my school actually had the AP exam for that. So by self-studying for the AP exam, I was able to learn more about a subject I was really passionate about, which was NEAT. And something also very unique about my school is that not only do we have AP exams that we can self-study for, we also have AP courses in the senior years, where there's a teacher to help guide us as well throughout the university content. And because it is a lot to take on, I appreciate how AP really teaches me how to manage my time wisely, how to ask questions, and how to really push me outside of my comfort zone in order to learn the things I'm passionate about. So throughout both French immersion and AP, I've definitely grown my initiative, my independent working skills, and I feel like not only do these programs push me on an intellectual level, on an academic level, it also teaches me how to have stronger skills for university and my future careers as well.
Great, thank you very much. And Hasni, you're pursuing the International Bachelorette Diploma Program. And again, you're also involved in many different leadership and co-curricular activities. How has being part of the IB program challenged or inspired you as a learner? And what skills do you feel that you are developing through this experience?
Yeah, so I am a first IB-DP student. So currently in my semester, I have IB Math, IB Biology, IB French, and IB Art. So the IB program, as we've mentioned in the call so far, has definitely known for its difficulty, like how rigorous it is. And it is definitely all of those things, but it also teaches you a lot of important skills that I don't think is attainable anywhere else. If we're talking about specific skills, it's very hard to pinpoint because ever since I started, I feel like I've been gaining so many new skills and learning so many new things that it's quite hard to say exactly what skills are being developed. I think that it's a multitude of things being developed in a way that I've actually never really had known the pacing before. For example, my overall awareness about the world has improved a lot. And I think that something that one of my teachers told me is that IB kind of teaches you to think globally but act locally, if that makes sense. So anything that you want to start that you're passionate about, go for it. Start locally. Think about how you're going to impact people globally. And it's been a very, very unique experience being enrolled in IBDP, but it's taught me a lot of things about collaborating with others, improving my soft skills, improving how I analyze things, everything from reading texts to just understanding how the world is from different people's perspectives and where they are. And I think overall, it gives you a very holistic experience on how the world can be. And therefore, it's taught me many, many things so far. And I'm really looking excited for next year to complete DP and apply all the skills that I've learned through this amazing program.
Sure. Director Ennis, you want to share?
No, I just wanted to ask the students, because they're all involved in such rigorous programs, great academics, certainly on a path that seems to be headed for all great things. I'm wondering, how do you protect your time, your space, your peace in a world where social media is bombarding you all the time, and young people your age? How do you sort of work through that kind of tension?
I'd love to share that. This is a bit of a free promotion for one of the apps that I love, but it's something called Focus Friend. It was developed by one of the most popular science YouTubers of all time, Hank Green, and he has created this app. I'll show it to the camera, where you make friends with a bean, and this bean absolutely loves to knit. Okay. Now, the bean lives in your phone, so when it knits, it can get distracted by other apps that you may be running. So if I were to set a timer, such as for 60 minutes, I can start it there, and my bean can go away knitting. And during that time, if I were to go on another app, then the bean will get distracted and drop his stitches, and then he'll be all sad and won't get to decorate his room by sewing his socks and buying other decorations. And so now I've created sort of a guilt incentive where I can't use my phone for an hour now, and I have to get my work done. And I found that was a great way to avoid sort of getting stuck in that that doom scrolling that you mentioned, that social media that sort of consumes my life when I don't moderate it. And this is a really great opportunity to tackle that.
Hasni or Vera, any other tips you have? Because I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Any parent listening, any student listening, even staff, right? To help support and give ideas or guide, or let people know that possibly even it's okay not to be connected, right? And so anything you want to share around those strategies, because I think they are critical.
Yeah, so adding on to what Cal said, definitely those apps are really good because you feel obligated to care for these little creatures that live on your phone. Another really useful app I found that really helps organize my time is my best friend, Google Calendar. I feel like with Google Calendar, it's really easy for me to visualize the different blocks of times that I have to be doing certain things. On Google Calendar, there's also the tasks feature, and I can just check off things once I complete them. I'm done them, and that helps me feel less stressed, because sometimes when you know you have to do so many different things, but you can't remember exactly when something is due or when something is, it can be really stressful. Just so having that to visualize my time has been really helpful. And I think it is always very necessary to maintain a good school and fun balance, in the sense that I feel like for weekdays, I try to focus on school the best I can, but I always try to save some days on the weekends to go hang out with friends and family, because that also matters a lot as well. Yeah.
And Hasni, anything else to add?
Yeah, just like Cal and Vera said, I think they made great points with the apps. I also do use an app. I use Study Focus, something like that. But essentially what it does is it turns off the apps I'd like turned off during a certain time. So I don't get any notifications from these apps unless like I have to physically go and then like go and then it's gonna be like, oh, are you sure you want to turn it off? Kind of like has that guilt tripping mode, and I'm like, oh no, I actually don't want to. So it like takes steps to like turn it off, which I think definitely like minimizes just, you know, like, because sometimes when we are doom scrolling, for example, we just like go on the app and like, oh, it's actually been 20 minutes and I could have actually been doing something productive in that time. So for sure, I do have apps. And like Vera uses Google Calendar, I use Notion. I use Notion a lot. I've been using it since grade 9 to plan everything out. I don't think I'd be able to survive without some kind of planner. But I also want to point out that when we are like, when we just have so many things to do, a big tip I would give to students who are trying to balance both academics, life, extracurriculars is being intentional with what you're doing in your time. So even like something as simple as, you know, you're taking the bus, instead of choosing to scroll, you can, you know, maybe do a math problem or two, or maybe like review some stuff that you need for your biology quiz. Just being intentional with your time really, really helps in the long term, and also knowing what you're doing when you're doing. So when you should be you should try to develop conscious habits. So when you're like about to scroll on something, just like think about, oh, like what does this reward me with in the long term? If 20 minutes later you don't really get anything out of it, maybe it's not the best idea. Just having some habits like this, developing them, are also very important in my opinion.
Great, thank you very much. Wow, I'm just looking at the time right now and we're almost wrapping up, but I'm going to ask Dr. Connor just to share some important pieces of how we support all student learners, students with special needs as well. And then I'll ask Director Ennis to close this up. So Dr. Connor, you want to just kind of speak about how we support all students?
Yep, certainly. So I would suggest that to begin with, differentiated instruction and knowing our students well is a responsibility of all of our teachers. That being able to know and understand what the needs are of students, and again, being able to see and support each and every student in their pathway within their subject area and through their instruction, assessment, evaluation, very much is inherently a part of what the classroom learning experience should be for all students. I would also say, particularly when you look at special education supports, but also supports for all students, again, speaking from a secondary context, we do have a rich and robust range of resources available for our students to ensure and support their success. And so that composite team includes individuals like our special education department head, our student success teacher, our social worker, our administrator, our guidance counselors, who meet regularly and often to make sure that they're really monitoring and connecting to the students in the school and providing structures and infrastructures and supports to be able to, again, help students really stay on track, feel positive, and to achieve to the best that they can in terms of working through their program and their program options. And the very last piece that I would say that I think is really robust in terms of helping students succeed is having, again, as all of our students identify, a range of programs, experience, and opportunities that can connect to where students feel themselves and see themselves wanting to learn and be connected to, whether that be co-curricular activities or a range of programs like auto mechanics or computer engineering, or the things that students are passionate about. So knowing as students are finding their journey, and we've heard great examples of students reflecting and learning about themselves and identifying how they want to be engaged and work through the school experience to prepare for the future, we indeed offer just a range of opportunities for students to feel that opportunity to be engaged and really connected to learning that they're excited about in programs and experiences that connect to their journey and moving forward to the future.
Great. I feel proud as a staff member hearing from our students, and Director Ennis, I'm sure you feel even more proud. And I want to give you the last words, as it is the Director's Panel Series, and to wrap us up for the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pardeep. And let me just say thank you to Callum and Vera and Hasni for really highlighting for us your journey in education and the excellence that you've experienced here in the HDSB. Thank you so much for sharing. As I'm listening to you, I could listen to you for hours, really just talk about the experience that you've had. And I'm sure you've had challenges as well, but you found ways to overcome them, and you have strategies to deal with those. So thank you so much for sharing. I, as a director, get an opportunity to share at the board meeting every month with the Board of Trustees greatness that is happening in our board. Every month I get to give an update, and I have to pick and I have to choose because there's just so much that happens. I know one of my great joys is just being invited to so many celebration of excellence in our board. Just last year, I remember going to a competition, a national competition, where students right across this country were competing for top prizes. And of the 4 top prizes, the Halton District School Board took 2 of those top 4 prizes. And so congratulations to students right across Halton. I've seen students build homes. I've seen students fix cars. I've seen students go on to work in great chef work and doing cooking and baking, and we have pathways for everyone. And so we celebrate the excellence in every single pathway. Whatever your skills and your gifts are, we have a place for you. And so I want to encourage the parents and students to continue on the path. Know that we have a space for you from kindergarten right through grade 12. And as superintendent would remind us, even we have courses for adults as well. So even you're never too old to learn in the HDSB. So we thank you so much for sharing with us this evening, spending some time with us. And today was Blue Jays Day in the HDSB. You can see my jersey that I'm wearing. And so we are just willing our Jays on to victory tonight. And go Jays go. Thank you for joining us.